It's time to gather together. Hi there, I'm Yelta, and I'll be buying the first round while we chat about Final Fantasy XIV. This is episode 152. Pull up a chair and join us. On the menu tonight, Duty Commenced, episode 27, archive now available. New optional items available. Fan Festival Cloud Minion arrives February 2nd. The European Fan Festival was this weekend, and we're gonna talk all about it. Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers release date. Patch 4.5, A Requiem for Heroes special site updated. Coming soon, Final Fantasy XIV meets Final Fantasy XV. Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers pre-order announcement. New merchandise available for pre-order. The Feast, Season 12 ending soon. And developers blog, fan tweets, shoutouts, and we have a new contest. And you Viera people will love it. But first, let's shoot the shit. What has been going on this week? Hey, Ruby.
What's up, Yelta?
Hey, I'm out of breath from reading the table of contents.
It's a lot of stuff. This was a pretty busy weekend. We were just talking about that before we got started. This weekend has felt like an eternity. I think for me, for the most part, well, both of us really, because we kicked off the weekend Friday night hanging out with the Shit Podcast. So a big shout out to those guys at She Heals I Tank for allowing Yelta and I to be a part. So Pete and Avi, thank you for allowing us to be on your episode there. And if you want to catch them again, they're on Twitch. Go to their channel, She Heals I Tank. And you can check out previous episodes. Also on our website, you can catch that. We've got a link there to them. So thanks for that. And then again that night, Yelta, you were up because you were in the chat. But I was on with Brian from Work to Game and Chili, and everybody knows Chili. We did a live run through of the keynote. So that was awesome. Had a lot of people with a ton of likes. A ton of people were watching. That was really great. I didn't expect that many people to be up at 2:30 watching the European Fan Fest, but there were a lot of people on, and I can understand why. New jobs and all the new cool stuff that's coming out. And of course, we're going to talk about that tonight. But thank you to Brian and Chili for allowing me to be a part of that and being able to hang out with them. But that was like... oh my God, that was like just one little chunk from Friday to Saturday morning. Then I worked, and then it's like, well, now I'm hyped up, so I want to play. So I played Saturday, and I played Sunday, and I played yesterday, and I got really close to capping toes. I started kind of late in the week. I hadn't been playing earlier in the week because, again, I was sick. You remember, I had been diagnosed with tonsillitis. That was the issue, and I had to go to the clinic, get antibiotics, and now I'm a lot better. I sound a lot better.
You sound fabulous.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. And so I'm on the mend. Everything's feeling good. But I got a late start, so I didn't really get to cap. But I did get my 24-man in, and that went really smooth. You know, I had skipped a week, and the previous 2 weeks when I did it, they were just clunky. People couldn't do TG Sid. There were just a lot of issues, and we only had one wipe, and it was at the end. We had a bunch of newbies still in this, but people weren't breaking the shield, and I was not paying attention and forgot to get in the bubble, so I died, and then at the end of it, they wiped. Now, of course, my DPS wasn't carrying 23 other people. Why it wasn't – people forgot. But there was like 4 new people in our group out of 8. And then this bard was like, hey, make sure you get in the bubble and break the thing. Well, of course, I'm the only one that didn't get in the bubble. And I'm like, bitch, you calling me out?
No, right? I get so defensive when someone's just friendly reminder, break your tether.
I was set off. I was like, you better not be fucking calling me out on this. No, I wasn't that aggressive.
Who I am.
God damn it, I run a podcast. No, I wasn't that aggressive, but I was like, dude, are you saying my DPS is carrying the group? And he's like, no, we have new people. Sorry. I was like, oh, sorry. Here's my commendation. My apologies. So I felt bad for that, but it still was good. And then once people broke the thing, it was super easy. I think everybody was just bored, and they just didn't break the thing.
Zoned out.
They zoned out, and that's all there was to it. I was tweeting. And our good friends, friends of ours, Ryukin and Reffel, friends of mine on Excalibur, happen to be in that group, and I think I'm going to be attending their anniversary wedding in a couple of weeks, so that's pretty cool. So it was fun to see familiar faces in a 24-man raid unexpectedly. I love it when that happens. What else? Valentine's. I think that's really the only other thing that I focused any time on, because I wanted to make sure I got the event done. I did the old stuff, and then also find the hidden vendor, because I was really confused. I did the Valentine's event. I guess it's really not spoiler alert, but it's pretty short in itself. And you just talk to some NPCs, and a couple of girls get into a fight because one's moving away, and they both have different ideas how it should go. So you have to run through the event from last time. It's just the tethered event, running through the garden, and then you do the card game at the end. So you do that, and then the girls are like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I love you," and that's pretty much it. And then you can do the fortune teller thing. But this is the hint I didn't pick up, was like, they're like, there's a fortune teller you should ignore completely because she's... So when we did the thing, I did ignore it because I didn't even notice the fortune teller. And then, of course, in the fortunes, you always get one that's like bad. And so I was like, well, I'm ignoring that bitch. She told me that I was going to be cold as ice. So this is the one I'm going to ignore. And I completely ignored the one I was supposed to ignore on accident. So then I'm like, all right, well, where's my Dark Knight sword and my Tonberry knife? Why am I not getting this? I'm checking all the vendors, whatever else. And I was about to embarrass myself and mention her on the Discord and say, where's my stuff? And I don't even know how I was walking around and I saw the pot. I was in that far north corner of New Gridania, or maybe it's Old Gridania, and I saw the pot and people were standing around it, and I was like, well, where the hell do you get this? And I saw it was a miracle elixir for that you have to trade in. So I went back to the event looking to where to buy the miracle elixir, and then I saw the fortune teller, and I was like, this is some shit. This is something.
Yeah, I didn't find it. Yeah,
this is some stuff that people would completely miss, even though they kind of hinted. It's not like an overt hint, and I can see some people maybe getting pissed unless they leave the vendor out for some extended period of time. But yeah, that's kind of weird. And I guess if you don't read the Lodestone and you don't listen to Gather Together podcast, you won't know where to find these. So check for that fourth vendor. Kind of when you get out of the Aether Crystal by the amphitheater, go to, if you're facing the crystal, go left. There's a old hag in purple. You're gonna want to talk to her and see if you can buy a couple of elixirs. And then I think it was the Lancers Guild. If you go out that way and you go north, I think it's like Black Boar Gate. And if you check around there, there's a little dude in a pot, and he asked for an elixir. So check him out. Did you find that?
No, but I didn't. Like I did.
Sorry,
the first part of the. No, it's okay. I did the first part of the event, but I always do the Valentine's Day event with my husband because he's a jealous man.
Oh.
So I have to get him to. But I was looking around to see, because I could find the person who would sell things for the chocolate hearts, but I'm like, I don't know where this sword is. Now I did pick up on there's a fortune teller you're supposed to ignore. I did pick up on that, and I was going to go back and look when I went back with Ulf, but I haven't yet.
Well, this one's about platonic love, Yelta, so you can do this with anybody, all right?
Well, maybe I'm going to have to find a platonic friend and
Ulf
do this
is just going to have to chill out.
It is actually about platonic love, which made me crack up so hard. Not that I would have even minded if it was like all about the gay love, but people were so wound up. Some people were so wound up that the poster only had girls on it, and it wasn't a romantic love thing. Okay, but anyway, so you did the Valentine's Day event.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, really, there wasn't a whole lot else. I mean, I'm just, ready to talk about all the cool stuff that we had, and that was pretty much my week. What did you do, Yelta?
I watched the keynote. I watched you watch the keynote.
Inception.
Inception. It was pretty cool. I actually had the keynote up twice. I had one on one monitor with you guys, you, Brian, and Chili. I was watching the chat, and you're right. I was astounded how many people were in there and talking at 3:00 in the morning. And it was really, really cool. It was really fun to watch you guys too. And then I had it on the other monitor. I had it all lined up so I could take screenshots because I wanted to tweet screenshots out, and I always forget to do that. So it was a decent keynote. Stayed up and watched the live letter then at stupid early o'clock. But in game, I capped tomes, ran the 24-man. I got the coin, but not a drop. But I didn't have it in me to run it again, so I think I handed in like 2 Wondrous Tales.
Oh, cool.
In the last week, because I haven't been doing them. And then mostly did Shinryu farming. I'm looking for that doggo. I have seen dogs drop, but I have not seen one drop to me.
I'll have to join you
sad.
for that.
The fight is pretty easy now. A lot of stuff that used to kill you, our gear lets you survive, except for one of the groups I was in, one of the guys. Now, of course, this is a farm party. It's listed as a farm party, and people don't know what they're doing or get confused. That's actually a pretty easy fight to get confused on. What abilities are casting? Should I be standing in water? Should I not be standing in water? One person just kept dying over and over again, and I think they just had low hit points. So stuff that the rest of us, like, even if we stood in a bad place, could survive now. But but it's also a longer fight, it feels like. But I like it. I like that fight. And I did it many, many times. Got a lot of Shinryu weapons, but they all go to the Grand Company for seals now. Mm-hmm. And then I also joined some runs for blue spells. I had a really nice party where we all went in as it was for... There's 3 spells that come out of that Ultros and... what's his name? Typhoon? That one. So there's 3 spells that come out of there. So I joined a party for that. I already had 2 of the 3 spells. I was actually missing the easiest to get one, which is... Aqua Bubble or something.
Oh.
And, so that's actually the easiest of them to get. But I just hadn't gotten it yet. So we went in there, full party of blue mages, no tanks, no heals, no nothing. And we're like, can we do this? And the answer is no. Because no one could take getting hit by... So 2 of us switched to tanks. I actually switched to Paladin. And I tanked Typhon, and the other guy tanked Ultros, and everybody else was blue mages, and we got all of them, all 3 of their spells, everybody else. And only a couple people were like, I'm out of here. Afterwards, they switched and let us get our spells. It was pretty cool. I've been in too many, you join those parties, and some of them are like, we'll do 4 and 4 and switch after you get your spell or whatever, and then they don't. They just leave.
Adios.
I know, and I can kind of see... it's a pain to stand there for how long, and it's RNG, and I got what I wanted. But I actually have joined quite a few parties that are like, we'll farm it 5 times, and then we'll switch, and we'll farm it 5 times, and we'll switch, and at least you get a few chances when you're a blue mage. So that was good. I think I'm at 39 out of 49 blue spells. I just have ones left that are in dungeons. So I have to get some dungeon parties together and go get them. I did run a free company mate through... He had never done Coil before. So we did like 1 through 5, and then we did 6 and 7. I don't think we did 8. I think we stopped at 7.
Nice.
His inventory was getting full, and you can do all that stuff pretty easy. Well, and then we had done 1 and 2, and I'm like, shoot. I'm like, if I knew it was going to be this easy, I'd have come on my blue mage because I need high voltage. And he's like, well, why don't you switch? We'll rerun 1. It's just the first boss in 1. I'm like, yeah, can we just run it a couple times? I got it on the first try, so that was nice. It's really nice. I was helping someone out just because I felt like helping someone out, but then, they're like, yeah, let's take a few minutes and get something that you might need too. So that was awesome. So I'm getting there. I'm getting there with my blue spells. I made a suit glamour, nice little suit jacket, dyed it purple with some dark purple pants. There was a dance party outside the adventures, or outside the grand company building, Barack was dancing with a bunch of other people, and everybody was wearing suits, so I had to make that glamour, right? Mm-hmm. Glamour is the true end game. And then I actually, because of the live letter, went or whichever one it was, went and picked up that Nier game and gave that a try. So, because we're supposed to have that Nier
Okay,
event.
so when did you pick it up and where? Because my Cinna said it's on sale on Amazon right now.
Nah, I just spent the money and got it on PC.
Ah, okay.
I may have to go find a controller, though, because keyboard controls are a little fucky in the game.
I'm actually going to look real quick because...
Oh, it was expensive on Steam. It was like full price. But if you go on Amazon, yeah. Is there a...
Nier on PS4. Now, I don't know if it's... Okay, it's not Game of the Year edition. If you just get straight up Nier on PS4, and I don't think this is a used guy. I think this is new. $26.99. Yeah, and I guess if you get the Yorha, which is... Spoiler alert, it's going to be our new 24-man, right? The Yorha edition, $39.99. Right now. So not terrible. I mean, I guess the game's been out a couple of years now, at least a year.
It's been out a while, yeah. Well, has it? Or no, okay, that's the Game of the Year edition. March 7th, 2017. Is that correct?
Probably right. That's probably right.
I do remember everybody on my Twitter timeline being very excited when they were playing this game, and I took one look at it, and I'm like, not my kind of game. Not that I dislike the look or the feel it sounds like the story's really good, but I am not good at spammy actiony games. There's a lot of jumping and heavy attacks, and luckily you can set the game to easy.
Yeah,
which is what I did. I'm not really playing it to play the fighting bit. I'm playing it to see what the fuss is about.
Yeah, when it came out, it's not the first title in its series. There's other Nier games, so I was like, well, should I play the other? And I don't think you have to play the others to play this one. I think it's like a side story or a side universe. Somebody will come tell me I'm wrong. But
please come tell us we're wrong.
Tell us everything about Nier. I know there's a lot of fanboys and girls out there. But I knew who Yoko Taro was from all that stuff, because as soon as Nier came out and all the fans were on top of it, you saw the Moonhead dude. And I was like, who the fuck is this Moonhead guy? Why am I seeing this smiling moon on everything? I don't even know if it's a moon. I don't know really what it is. I guess I need to play the game to find out more about it. But I would see this image of Yoko Taro everywhere. And when this came about in the live letter, and I guess I could save it for the live letter part, but when this came about then, I squeed because I actually knew who this dude was, and I did not expect this Moonhead to be shown here. So even though I don't have any experience in it, and I know what type of game it is, and it is kind of closer to my kind of game because I do play these spammy games. But I'm more like, I can't play two spammy type games in a row. So if I played some shooter or if I played an action RPG, I can't play another action RPG. And I think when Nier came out, I had backed up and I was playing an older game than that, which was Horizon Zero Dawn. And I couldn't play something that was take down robot dinosaurs and dragons and such, animals, and then turn around and play something with robots and spammy action stuff. So it's time. It's either that or I play Breath of the Wild, but I think I need to play Nier first. Well,
and Nier very much does a lot of, I mean, even in the opening, the very beginning, before you can even save, it's switching perspectives. It's like changing games on you. Sometimes it's a side scroller. Sometimes it's you're a little ship and you're in a bullet hell kind of thing. And I hate those too. But again, I love the music though. I'm really digging the music. So it'll be interesting to see. I already have a SAD. I've been fighting a few robots out in the desert, and now I have a SAD.
Oh, I heard the whole game is sad. I heard you need to hug your family at the end of it.
So yeah, but no, I'm interested to see how they're gonna make that fit Final Fantasy 14 in a raids. I was surprised it wasn't just a crossover event, but we'll cover that more later. So All right, and we also want to do a big old thank you to our patrons. We Patreons, we love seeing those emails.
Yes, so I'm going to read the names of the patrons we have for this month. We've got Wade, we've got Blue Moon, we've got Edson, and Varya Kimon. Thank you guys for being our patrons. We do have that out there. If you go to our website, you can click the link. If you check our Twitter, it's the pin tag. And there are benefits to being a Patreon. So check us out. And thank you again for your pledges.
All right, you can shoot the shit with us. Come to the website, www.gtffxiv.com, and let us know what you've been up to. Our first round is news. Due to commence to episode 27, archive is now available. I have to go watch this because I was unable to watch it that day.
Yeah, the big news is our Shannon is gone. She has flown to South Carolina, I believe. I think she's got a new job out in South Carolina, so all the power to her. She's still pretty active on Twitter. And you can check her out. Sneck's doing good. The snake got a doctor's appointment recently, so Sneck's doing good. But we love you, Shannon. So best wishes to you. And we look forward to what comes next. I mean, we have Rennie, we have Aya, of course. Matt and Reinhardt are still there. Reinhardt was at the fan festival. He was tweeting out from there. So I'm excited to see what new changes and what things come, because we've got Stormblood not Stormblood. We just had Stormblood. We have Shadowbringers coming, and so fresh stuff happening. So looking forward to how the rep team evolves from here on out.
All right, it wouldn't be news if we didn't have new optional items available. No, so we have our standard last year's Valentine's Day decorations. By the way, if you missed the rose wagon, it is so cute. I love this thing. Good. I have it in the yard of my house, and it's just adorable. So, and then I think new is this enormous stuffed alpha, but that fucker's $15, guys. And apparently it's just a blown up version of the other stuffed alpha. Is that what we were talking about the other night?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, so you have that for $15. Yeah. But it looks like the other stuff, the mounts are $12 each. So that's the broken heart right, broken heart left. The authentic balloons. We have the poster. The posters are always cute too. But that rose wagon, man, that one's really cute. All right, Fan Festival Cloud Minion arrives February 2nd. I already have mine. I picked mine up yesterday.
Cool. Does he do anything? Does he twirl his sword?
Minion. I don't even think I used him yet. I was going to find somebody who had Tifa. Is it Tifa? Mm-hmm. And I was going to see if they do anything together, but I haven't.
He motorboats her, I think.
I'm gonna go check it out. Do you have Tifa?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
You do too.
I was going to say, of course you do.
We were at Fan Fest together.
I was going to say, of course you do. So, yeah, the Cloud Minion was created to celebrate the European Fan Festival. So, it's a cute-looking minion. And then they, I think, are reminding us that there is the mount, the SDS Fenrir, which is the motorcycle.
Oh, that's old hat. Here, come hat. April.
Oh, God. Anyway. All right. Big news is the EU Fan Fest 2019 in Paris. Woo. It was this week. They got more days than we did, didn't they? Did it seem like they had a longer time?
I guess. What freaked me out was I woke up in the middle of the night. I think it was Friday morning. I woke up. I had to go to work Friday. I had to go to work Saturday. But I went to work Friday, and I woke up at 5 a.m., and I freaked because I knew I was supposed to be on work to game with Brian at 2:30. And I in my mind, I went, our Fan Fest was Friday. So I'm missing the Fan Fest. But theirs was on Saturday. Their keynote was on Saturday, where ours was on Friday. And I was panicking for nothing.
Yeah, okay. They did Saturday, Sunday. I don't know why. That must be why I think it was longer. I don't think it was actually longer. Looks like they got the same kind of amount of panels and stuff.
Right, right. Their venue was a little smaller, and that's one thing that has come up recently. There's been a lot of bitching recently, and I'm not talking about Parses, and I'm not talking about Mail Vieira, and I'm talking about there was a tweet about the Japanese fan festival going to host 15,000 people, and that this one for European was only 4,500, I believe, and that I don't remember what ours was, 5,000. Maybe larger than that, but it surely wasn't 15,000. And then, of course, it re-wounded the people who couldn't get a ticket for the NA Fan Festival about, why don't you know 15,000 people for our fucking fan festival? Yay.
Oh, I feel for him, man. I'd have been so mad, though.
Great community, by the way.
Great. Have you been on shitpost?
Oh, absolutely.
Lately, because that's what... I was on there today, actually. Great community, by the way. Right. All right. So let us go over the keynote summary, and we are using as our reference material here the Gamerscape article, Fan Festival for Final Fantasy XIV Paris Fan Festival keynote summary. They of course played the extended teaser trailer, which has kind of yeah.
Did you get wet like I did? I'm kidding.
My nipples got hard.
Oh, good. That's what I'm looking for, especially when my tasty boy Urion J was on there.
I was like, oh.
I just want to say that Urion J, I am so glad, is back at the forefront. I had a little, conversation with Fusion X of Gamerscape, very brief, about missing Gideon Emery as the voice for Urion J. And that is sad. And then it seemed like after 2.0, Urion J took this kind of backseat until we thought he was a traitor. And then he had the weird outfit, which I think now it's some amalgamation of the weird outfit, but not with the scarf over the handkerchief over his face. So now we've got Urion J with his big fat gold collar and his manly arms, and he's astrologian like all get out and looking great. And then Ishtola we have on there looking black magey and being named Master Matoya. Whoa, what?
Yeah. Well, a lot of people are assuming that's a title, not a name.
Yes.
So that's cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've also heard that Matoya has somehow possessed Y'shtola. So, of course, the theories run wild. And then we got to see Extended Thancred, who got to use the Gunblade, because we're going to learn his new job here shortly. And he cuts the wings off of that beast. And we get to find out who the little girl is with her. And it's none other than Minfilia. With bright blue eyes. So then it's like... Part of me wants to go, did we go to the past? Is this old Acilia? And many are saying this is Minfilia reborn. The crystal has reborn Minfilia, and she has those bright blue eyes because she's the mother, but the mother reborn. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting. It's really, really interesting to see what's going to come. It was exciting.
And I'm guessing this isn't everything either, because we will probably get an even extendeder.
Well, Yoshi said we're
Japan.
getting the full one for the Japanese Fan Fest, and in fact, it's going to have a different soundtrack too. It's a whole new music.
I thought the music was a little different in this one than the first one too, because I was listening closer, but even during the part where the Warrior of Light is walking around and the gremlins talking to him, I could hear answers in part of that song. I don't know if that was in the previous one. I need to do some comparison, but it did. I think there were sound and visual changes in this extended trailer. It was great.
It was really good. It was really good. I enjoyed it a lot. Made me very excited to see what's coming up. And then, of course, what was coming up is they named the new job. It is Gunbreaker. So we have Gunbreaker video. We've got Gunbreaker art. And it's a tank, guys.
There you go.
Yeah. So, which made me happy. I'm hoping that since it's a tank, I'm hoping we're also getting a healer. And I need to level up a new healer. I really, really want to.
That'll be fun.
In fact, I was a little surprised because it's kind of a low. Well, this is just probably it's AF, but it's not very tanky looking. But I can handle it.
Yeah, I've heard some speculation that this will be a more DPS-y type tank a la Warrior, just because of the look. It's got that kind of machinist look in a way. Machinist ideas as far as have ammunition that'll power up the abilities. or the attacks. The outfit itself looks pretty sweet. Some have said that this was from not Valkyrie Profile, but a Vagrant Story. This looks a lot like the dude from Vagrant, or some of the outfit from Vagrant Story. I could be off with that. And then as far as the little trailer goes, things that were pointed out was like some shielding that happened. Of course, they did talk about the ammunition makes the attack stronger, and that this was going to be more akin to Final Fantasy VIII's gunblade type
yeah,
stuff.
they're not the Garlean's Empire's gunblades. This is different.
But I love the homage to Final Fantasy VIII, and I hope we get a lot more of it.
Yeah, people forget that was even a game, I think. I liked it.
I loved 8.
All right, and then we actually I was really happy for this next one because we complained very recently about how the new area overviews was just like, here's a couple pieces of concept art. And I don't know, was it like a screenshot? We got videos of two new areas, Raktika, Greatwood, and I think it's Ilmeg. Ilmeg. So both of those zones look amazing. Mm-hmm. I really, one of them got a little bit of phallic looking. We all like zoomed in onto that so hard.
Yeah, we got there so hard. First, to talk about the not dick one, Raktika Greatwood. The first thing that popped out at me, of course, we heard about the Greatwood before. I think they mentioned the Greatwood at our fan festival, but we got just the one image of it. I don't think Ilmeg, we knew anything about that whatsoever. But Greatwood, of course, akin to Final Fantasy XII, and this is where the Viera are, so that's pretty normal. But the first thing that jumped out to me was the music in this zone. Mm-hmm. Holy shit, this music is fucking awesome. And in both of the new areas, the music has this vocal, like a female, kind of something going on in the background, and it just sets it off. And the one from Raktika has a good beat to it. It's something like you'd bob your head while you're in the area. So I'm really looking forward to that. And it was giving me some Yohader Jungle vibes from Final Fantasy XI as well. So it would be kind of cool to get. I know we don't really want to go back to the hamster tubes of Gridania that we had, but it would be neat to go up and down tree branches and wind around some waterfalls and shit and have some enemies in some coves and stuff like that. So I'm willing to see how this is going to play out, especially pre-flight. Because we're probably going to have to unlock flight again. So how will we?
So anyway. I know a lot of people hate that, but I'm like, man, but you actually get to see the whole.
It's a tour of the zone, right? So as we wind through the jungle here, now to the dicks, we've got Fairyland, and Fairyland looks beautiful to me as well. Ilmeg, this one has a bunch of rainbows. It looks gorgeous. It was giving me a Hinterlands vibe when I was seeing this, and I like the Hinterlands. I think this is more beautiful than the Hinterlands.
Well, it looks kind of scrubby, honestly. The Greatwood's very green and stuff. This is more like it's kind of like a crystally desert.
It's pastel,
yeah, but it's not like green and lush. It's more, I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it gives me some kind of Oz vibe or something to it, but it's still not. It's not vibrant Oz like Emerald City. There is some green. Like if you look at this artwork, there's some bright greens. There's some bright crystal and pink, blue and pinks. But when you look at the actual screenshots, it does look aged. Like these towers and things have been kind of washed in time or something. And then obviously just to give it a shout out, the dick house with the fucking ball sack at the bottom.
So little phallic.
I don't really know what to say. When I was on Work to Game, Chili giggled when this image came up, and it was, you just can't unsee it once you see it. It's got a dickhead and everything, so there you go. But I like the way that the tower looks with the fairy wings and all that good stuff. And I hope this. I hope we get a new scholar pet. That's really where I'm going with that.
Wouldn't that be cool if they could get at least where you could like, even if it's not a third pet, but even if it's a glamour, right? Wouldn't that be cool?
Oh yeah, fairy glamour, pet glamours, Yelta. Who would have thought you would be talking about pet glamours?
Oh my goodness! Well, and it's kind of cool too because there are fae in the game for scholars, but they're not really anywhere else, right? I don't even remember if the scholar quest even tells you where the hell these fae come from.
But they have Fey Wind and all that stuff, and apparently the language is Fey, and Koji Fox has written another, like he did for the dragons, he's written a pixie language, and we have a pixie primal.
Yes, Titania, and she is gorgeous. Do you know the first thing I thought when I saw her is I want whatever the barding is, right? Think of the colors. I'm like, I need that beautiful barding.
Yeah. My first thought was, when are her and Ravana going to bang and get some bug action going? We got the butterfly wings. Wings and the beetle, and maybe we could just, get inside the cocoon.
Someone's going to draw that and send it to us.
Please.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Titania. And I had seen the question, where's Oberon? And Titania. So let's see where would they go with this storyline. We may get some deep fairy lore out of this, which is okay with me. They've talked about other Final Fantasy stuff. They talked about dwarves at one time. We didn't see any of that in this live letter or keynote.
But I thought they said dwarves, right?
They had said dwarves before. So
dwarves are Final Fantasy 1.
Fantasy 1. So you can go back and look at some of the old Final Fantasy stuff and pull some lore that we just haven't seen yet in 14. And they have said, we want to pull from the old Final Fantasies. Yeah, maybe we'll get beavers at some point. Who knows what we'll get? But I'm happy to see the Pixies along.
All right, and then we're getting a new Alliance raid. This is Yorha Dark Apocalypse. This is the one that's been created. This got guest creators, right? Yosuke Sato and Yoko Taro. So the raid is Nier based. Yorha Dark Apocalypse. This one took me by surprise a little bit. Not what I thought. Because the screenshot itself is all I had to go on it, right? And I've now seen a boss that looks like this guy. I've actually fought one. It's got giant bladed hands, and he chops you up. And my dress in that game is black, but but it would be. I'm interested to see how we have giant robots, I guess, in 14. But I'm hoping that they'll find a way. We had this concern back when the old Ivalice ones were announced, right?
Right.
How are they going to make it fit the world? It's got to blend. It's got to, hit. And I think they did pretty well with Return to Ivalice. I got a little lost at the last battle because I didn't understand. There was something I was completely missing. So I'm hoping they tell the story a little better for this. And this is an entire raid. So this is 24-man raid. So there's, many fights in 3 different patches that this is going to have. So I don't know.
The theme for EU FanFest was people bitching about lore. We will talk about the next bitching in the next section, but the first bitch, and this caught me by surprise, and I caught myself doing a little bit of bitching just right at the start. Was I understand that Ivalice was crammed into 14 because we had Dalmasca as one of the nations, if you will, on Hydaelyn. But I don't know where Nearland is how I coined it. Where Nearland will be in Eorzea. How do you put this in there? But since then, and really since people were bitching about Mel Vieira, it's like I've seen the tweets where somebody's like, as I ride my motorcycle and I put my Garo gear on and my yokai minion is next to me and this, that, the other, I sit and ponder, how the fuck will a male Vieira be part of this? And it's
but I questioned all those things they listed, and it doesn't mean you have to sit back and like it. You can still question. I felt like slapped one day when people were like really hating on me, wondering how, and I was really just wondering how they're going to make this work and fit the game. Because really, for the most part, they've done a pretty good job, right?
Right.
You know, Fran isn't teleported from Final Fantasy 12. Is it 12?
Yes.
She wasn't teleported here. She is a friend that lives and exists in this world. It's not like she walked through a magic portal to get here. It is, and then the whole other 24 man, it was kind of a retelling of a tale, but it all really existed in Eorzea. So somehow I'm hoping, and actually based on a question and answer, I think I put in our free company chat. Yoshi P understands that, it has to fit. He already read that people are having some like whiplash about, well, how is that going to fit 14? Mm-hmm. He knows, and he's gonna make it blend. He's not just going to accept, oh, suddenly this happened.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And so I don't think there's anything that we have to worry about. I don't think we have to completely suspend our animation and just add another amusement park ride called Yohar Dark Apocalypse and just accept it. But at the same time, Yoshida hasn't strayed us in the wrong direction as far as combining other stories into it and making it fit in a way that is palatable. All right. It may not be exactly what we would want, but he also doesn't bastardize it. And it's like 2B and, whoever, Fran and Cloud and everybody are just sipping tea and then they warp in and out. And when they do the warp in and out stuff, when it's actually the real character, those
like
are
Lightning
usually
or Shantoto.
Like Lightning, Shantoto,
yeah.
And soon enough Noctis. Those are actually, they do it in such a way where they are ported in some way. And those, even though those are a little, they should be a little more jarring. They're short, and they're short and sweet.
Well, they're usually limited time crossover events, right? Right. This is which I can kind of like. Well, I love Dragon Quest, right? Mm-hmm. The Dragon Quest didn't make any fucking sense in 14. I love 11. And I'm like, okay, I suppose Shantoto could get to Eorzea, sure, whatever. Sure. But I'm sorry, magic portals just doesn't make me accept skyscrapers existing somewhere in Eorzea, right, or giant cranes that are robots. They could definitely. Now, I played a little bit now of Nier, and I kind of was like, they could do a lot of the stuff in a Heidelin's universe. I don't know. Yeah. Coding, right? They could still, do something that's not going to be so completely fucking jarring. Right. But the reason I'm concerned versus even more concerned versus like the Final Fantasy 15, that's going to be a crossover event. We'll all get our cars, drive them around for a while, and then most of us will go back to riding our chocobos. Or whatever, mm-hmm. But this is a 24-man raid. This is something I'm going to want to do to stay up to date every week for 2 years, mm-hmm. right? If it's completely fucking jarring, I'm not going to be happy. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the good that's going to come out of this. Cool outfits. Mm-hmm. Cool weapons outfits. If they allow any kind of weapons.
That would be. I'm kind of hoping they do. Now that I haven't gotten too far, so I haven't seen that many weapons in the game. But I definitely gear. And if there's no reason they couldn't add a weapon to the 24-man. Sure. But, they could restructure some stuff.
Or some token glamour system, something, whatever.
I loved the music. I could definitely see cool music scrolls. So I'm not that far in the game, but I like the music a lot. I've heard so far. What's the other one? Minions, usually. I could definitely see a cute little minion.
And a deep story. This is going to be probably a disturbing story, and I don't mind some dark coming out of this. I hope that I haven't played Nier, but I know it's not going to be a happy ending when you beat it. And I hope that they can play on that in some way that not everything needs to be a happy ending. I hope it has a dark ending to it in some way. I wouldn't mind being disturbed at the end of it. But regardless, Saito and Yokotaro are gonna make a good story. Also, they had a really funny video. If you watch the
it was kind of entertaining, yeah.
About how Yoshida's going to, by bringing them
destroy
on,
Final Fantasy.
He's going to make this the last Final Fantasy for sure.
All right, let's move on to something absolutely stunning, and that is the new race. We got to see actual in-game multiple Viera.
They're hot.
They're hot. I'm a little gay now. I thought they all looked really, really amazing. They don't really just look like Highlander women with ears on them. Mm-hmm. I think I was impressed too when I first saw Fran in game. Is the faces actually look different, right? The faces have different facial characteristics.
You're looking at their faces?
Yeah. Well, I'm not gay, so.
I'm looking at that ass.
I did check out that ass because mostly for science, because people are still complaining, and I do too, that kitty girls we used to have bigger asses.
Oh, 1.0. Yeah. You Mikate ain't got nothing on the Viera. I hope you all switch, because these bitches are bad.
I won't switch because they're giants, but I might switch for a little while. You know. This did leave out something that we were all really wondering about. Where be the boys?
Well, it's obviously in Pixie Land.
So, I don't know where the boys are, but a lot of people are really questioning it or whatever. But honestly, I would bet money. I would put $100 on the table right now. They're going to just announce the males or some male at Tokyo Fan Fest.
Yes, this is a bait.
There's no way they're going to do gender-locked race at this point.
It's a bait. It's completely a bait to get people wanting more and to cause drama. You know, bad publicity is still publicity.
There's no such thing as bad publicity.
There's no such thing. So to get fans and fanboys talking about this does the job. You just show one, and you don't even they didn't mention it. There wasn't even a breath about a male Viera. No art, no drama. Now, we've seen art in the past.
We've seen concept art. They've shown us concept art of Viera before.
We have in-game lore. If you talk to the dramaturge, he talks a lot about the males take the boys from the camps and they live in the woods by themselves, and they're the hunters, and they rarely interact other than to mate. So they're deep in the woods somewhere, but they exist. So it would baffle me that they would not put male Viera, especially since they added the male and female counterparts to the other races to balance them out.
Yeah, and, even though the lore, according to the lore, you would never have so many cat boys. Never. No right? way. It just wouldn't happen.
No way. But the run animation is fucking beautiful. I was going to mention
that because that's why I can't play some of the female characters.
The female Hero Midlander is terrible.
Aura.
The phrase "run like a girl" I know can sound sexist, but when you think of flailing your arms, going that's how a female Midlander runs.
Mm-hmm. I rolled one. I was going to be one. No.
These ladies run.
They look good.
Oh my God. They look beautiful.
No, they look amazing. They really did a good job. Now, I'm not even a Viera fangirl. I was kind of like hoping they wouldn't do Viera. That they would do something else, maybe like a Final Fantasy 14, its own race. Mm-hmm. Or, we already just did that with the Aura, but I found them underwhelming. But so many people have wanted these so long, and I'm actually really happy for my friends who want to be Viera. And I'm not going to mind seeing them around. I'm glad they're not just, Highland heroes with bunny ears. They actually look different than that.
The hair is beautiful.
Oh my God, the hair. And they obviously have different ear types.
Yeah.
So, and I thought I saw, I don't know where it was, but the ears that are laying down somewhere. Oh. Not in this video. It was on it might have been one of the other panels, she had like, and it might have just been concept art, but so there's other Viera that are a small version, and some of them have lop ears. I would switch to it if they made a small Viera with lop ears. I might switch. But they've never made the, you know how we have the clans, the Duden's Folk Lalafell, and you have the other ones, and they've never made. It's mostly a few tiny accents and skin colors or something. But if they, I don't know, it'd be fun if they had like another small race.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't get over it. Big eyes, big lips. They got the feet right. I don't know how they're going to design the shoes. They said they've had to redesign all the helmets to make this work for the ears. It's a lot of work has gone into Viera, and they did say this is probably the last one, but the word "probably" was
well. See, and they did that before with Blue Mage. With they said that Rogue and Ninja was probably going to be the last one they released outside of an expansion. Right, so then they released Blue Mage, and they're like, well, we never said we wouldn't do it. We just said it was unlikely. So I do hope, and I could see them, like, maybe for 6.0 not doing a new race, right? But then, maybe like in 7.0 they would do a new race. But no, these are welcome in our world. I know everybody will go to VR, and I get sick of looking at them for a while, and then people will go back to what they really want to be. And we'll still have a healthy population of lovely bunny ladies. All right, they also unveiled the collector's edition, which I kind of found meh. But well, see, I'm thinking now because I've bought every collector's edition so far, but like with Stormblood, I remember thinking, man, all I really cared about was the digital items, and I could have just done the digital upgrade and gotten all the digital items. Right, I don't know if I need. Did they give us a price for this? It's like $1 million.
$200. I think something did come out about $200.
Well, it's on sale tomorrow, right?
Yeah, we'll find out soon enough. But I'm pretty sure somebody said $200. I'm meh on this too because there's some items in here. I'm just not big on the statues. I don't have enough counter space to have every statue. I think we have these. We have. Heaven's Word, but we didn't buy the Stormblood Collector's Edition. And the only pull for me on this, because I don't need a sticker for my PS4, and I don't need a box, and I don't know what, these playing cards,
the playing cards are looking good, yeah.
And I hope they sell them separately, but they're probably not going to do that for a long time.
Now, did they ever sell any of the other stuff from any other collector's editions separately?
I doubt it.
So I don't know. You know me. I'm going to be like, I only care about the in-game items, and I really do.
Somebody's going to say, buy it off of eBay, but then you're going to pay as much for the fucking cards as you would for the whole damn collector's edition anyway. And the cards themselves are probably only worth $10, $15. They're just artwork on the cards. But I'd love to see them all like get a frame and then frame them all, or just take them and get them signed by Yoshida or something like that. That would just be badass. I just love the way they look. The digital items are cool too. I mean, I guess if you're into Final Fantasy VIII, you can get Squall's gunbreaker weapon, the revolver, the gunblade. The revolver.
And a wind-up Fran.
And
the Granny mount. That's the mount that they showed in the 2 videos for the new zones.
And I guess that's really the box art here. That's what the guy sitting on the mount in the box art is. So it looks wild. It reminds me of some of those mounts that you get from PvP in a way.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, and the pre-order, if you pre-order, you'll be able to play on June 28th instead of waiting for July 2nd. I don't remember now. Is it 2nd? Okay. I don't want to lie. So you also get a Gremlin minion and an Aetheryte earring. Now, the Aetheryte earring is already in the game. You just can't get it yet. So they actually have said that if you pre-order, you get the Aetheryte earring early. So that's extra 30% XP, is it? Up to level 70. So I may, get that and then finish leveling my 4 melee DPS.
This earring is actually a huge deal for a couple of reasons. Yes, you can get it early and get everything to 70 beforehand. The biggest thing is that it scales with your level. So no more the level 1 items that are pretty much shit, but you have to deal with it if you want the XP bonus. This is an heirloom item, as people have talked about from WoW. This is something that scales with you, and this is something that we haven't seen in Final Fantasy XIV, that if they continue this type of trend, use this again, we could have some powerful items that scale up with us and some changes to gear that would be very beneficial for the player base and is a fresh take. Yes, this has been done in World of Warcraft, but
never
it's not
been done in this game.
In 14.
Yep. Well, and there was a question and answer on a different interview, and they talked about, are you going to want to do this with more stuff? And they're like, well, if we do it with too many things, that they didn't like the idea of that. So I think as far as as long as it's a catch-up piece of gear, I'm like, make it overpowered.
Sure.
Go ahead and, make it so, yes, I fully believe in gearing up your classes and, getting the armor and getting the weapons and stuff. I don't want every slot filled with one of these. But, having an earring and then maybe in, 6.0 doing like a ring or something. Yeah, I don't have any problem with it. As long as it's not like super powerful at level. As long, when I hit 70, it should be worthless compared to what I can buy. Or win or whatever. So.
Right.
So yeah, it's nice. It'll be nice not having to choose, do I want the XP or do I want the stats? Most of the time you just want the XP, honestly. But now there are the Alamegan earrings that we already got with, that only helped you up to level 60?
Is it
50
or 60?
It might only be 50. I couldn't find one. I think I couldn't find an item that helped you up to 60. I think, because...
Okay.
I'm trying to remember, because now I have, some things...
And I only cared about the Alamegan earrings because of Blue Mage. And then I was like, well, it gets you to 50, so good enough.
Yeah. Yeah, the Alamegan earrings are level 50 earrings increases XP by 30% while level 50 and below. So they never gave us level 60 earrings or whatever. So I think these new ones are level 70. That'll be so nice. But anyway, yeah, I would encourage everyone to pre-order and get those. But let's see. That
was the keynote.
Kind of the whole keynote.
No, the keynote wasn't bad. I enjoyed the keynote. It had enough information. I still walked away. It was early in the morning, so I was still processing it, and I still walked away going, well, was that enough? Was that enough information to keep people happy? And I think it wasn't. I don't think it was so much that it wasn't enough information. I think it was that they gave enough information to make people want more. I think the lack of the male Vieira information got people wild. And then we didn't hear anything about the 8-man raid, so that leads to some speculation. I really wish we would have heard at least a name or something, but they're
like, they're not ready yet, and I'm like, I don't need screenshots. Give me a slide that says the name of it and give me a little piece of concept
I
art.
guess if it ties in so much with what we're going to see at the end of 4.55, then
if it's spoilery, then just say it, but that's not how they put it, and that kind of irritated me.
Yeah, so I think what we walked away with the keynote, and even the whole thing in general, but really from the keynote, left more questions. The only thing that I felt really got answered was Gunblade as a tank.
Well, and there was not, I think myself and many other people were a little bit sad that really it confirmed more things we already knew than told us anything new, and it gave no new job hint. Which worries me because they said multiple new jobs, and they've so far shown us a tank.
Well, hell, at the end of it, he said they said the next new job or the remaining new job. I forget what the actual word was, but it was something that made it sound like there will be one more new job.
So they're going to tell us about Dancer in Japan or whatever.
Yeah, and that to me would be sad.
Yeah.
I hope that's not the case, and I hope that's part of the misinformation and misdirection that they're giving.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I think we talked about this a little bit on She Heals, I Tank, but where sometimes we believe Yoshida's playing some 4D chess. Oh, we were talking about the Emperor playing 4D chess. Yeah. But in the same token, sometimes I think we think Yoshida's playing 4D chess, and it's not necessarily the case. And I hope that is the case. Maybe I'm giving Yoshida more credit than he's due here. I hope that when they say things like, "Well, we're going to find out about the next, the last job remaining," I forget the words, but it had a finality kind of sound to it. Like there's only one more new job that they're going to announce. I hope that's a misdirection.
Yeah, because multiple new jobs. I know technically 2 is a multiple, but fuck. Now, yes, what roles would they go into? Right. We have healers, we have tanks, we have DPSs, but maybe I would accept another limited job. Now, I know some people are still salty about Blue Mage, but, or are they fucking counting Blue Mage as these multiple new jobs?
I just don't see that as a multiple new job because that came out
already. Some of us are, a lot of people are already done with Blue Mage. There's nothing else to do. Right. You can't talk about that as part of the keynote for 5.0. So, but then again, a lot of people are like, well, we don't really need more jobs. We have plenty of tanks and plenty of healers and plenty of DPS, and how would they balance them all? And I'm like, fuck you. How many MMOs have lots of new jobs? MMO players, I'm ranting now. MMO players expect new jobs every expansion.
Sure.
They expect new jobs, new races. They expect deep modifications into sometimes a lot of the battle system, and we're getting that, it sounds like. In fact,
not every MMO, Yelta, also has the number of jobs that Final Fantasy has. Not every MMO has the armory system and the ability to change jobs on the fly.
Yep.
So this, but I'm with you on your argument that this game allows to have more jobs than other MMOs and to have the ability to bring lots and lots of jobs into it. So there's really no excuse to just say we're bringing another tank and healer and that's it. I don't know. I hope there's some misdirection there. And then what you were leading into was we did not get any of the battle changes. They're going to save that for a live letter. That's going to be what, in May?
I don't know. They're like, it's going to be an hour just to explain that stuff to you. And I'm like, okay, I can wait.
I can sit for an hour. Come on, tell me what you plan on doing. I wouldn't have minded just some little hints. I mean, they at least at the last Fan Fest told us about the TPMP thing. They didn't go into any.
No, they did not.
Stuff.
They didn't touch it. So I think people overall, I think a lot of people, I don't want to talk for everyone, there are many people who were a little disappointed that there wasn't any really exciting new reveal in the keynote, I guess. So it was just a lot of confirmation of stuff we already knew, and it was, like the 24-man raid theme kind of came out of left field, and I kind of wish I had been sitting in the crowd. I'm curious how the crowd took it, because you remember American Fan Fest, and a couple times we kind of all got quiet.
Yeah, we were silent.
Yeah, there were times we're like, what?
And it might be a different crowd depending on, Europe and Japan may react differently. I feel like the European crowd was a little more subdued anyway when I was watching. But that just might be the nature of the crowd or the vibe that was going on in that collective. Whereas over here in Las Vegas, we're hooping and hollering for anything that we get. We're just a bunch of loud, crass Americans and Canadians, I guess. And so I don't know. It's hard to gauge based on maybe cultural aspects, but at the same time, I would have liked to have gauged the crowd as well and seen what they were feeling when they were getting some of this stuff. And did the Europeans feel like they got as much as the North Americans got from their fan festival? Were they as pleased with the amount of information that they received? I don't know.
All right. Then we also had a letter from the producer live. And that was at stupid o'clock in the morning also. No, it was fine. Completely fucked up my sleep schedule. I know it did yours.
Yep, me too.
All right. So it was the 49th letter. And they talked about patch 4.55. 4.55 is coming out on February 12th, and that's going to have the new Hidden Gorge PvP map for Rival Wings and Eureka Hydrados. That's a misspelling.
I think it's Hydrados.
Hydrados. Yeah. And then in late March, we're going to have patch 4.56, and that will go live with part 2 of the Stormblood finale. So more Hildebrand quests, more Beast Tribe quests, and it's going to be the MSQ wrap up. So I'm a little bit confused why they're chopping up the stuff so much, but I'll just have to pick which day I'm taking off. I don't know. So
yeah, usually we get the part 2 and the 5.5. I don't know why they would call it. I guess they just called it 5.5. I would have called 5.5 the part 2 and then just Hidden Gorge to me isn't something to take time off of, but it's not enough to call it a 5.5. I guess because Hydrados is in it.
I think that's it. Yeah. So now, mind you, that PvP mode looks pretty fun. That's the one they've talked about before a little bit about it's similar to the Astrologos or whatever. And there's a gob train. You can take control of the train stations on the map, and you can claim the cargo on the train. That sounds really, really interesting. And then there is a goblin mercenary mechanic, so they roam the map and will attack everyone. And if a team can win one of them over by dealing more damage to them, the mercenary will fight for them. That sounded very fun and very interesting to me. I kind of like how they're getting more. These PvP modes are getting more dynamic, and I think
this I like. Yeah. I really like the silly shit. You know, I've talked till I'm blue in the face about Star Wars: The Old Republic and Hutt Ball, and that's not a capture the flag. It's a tossing a ball to go to an end zone. It's a football match or whatever. But this is some silly shit, and I don't mind attacking goblins or Ark or gobby trains and trying to see. I mean, the screenshot is silly. You've got like Vikings and
all those mammoths, right? Those are mammoths.
Yeah, just weird shit going on all in the same screen. It's like they crammed everything. It's like, what the fuck do I attack and dodge and what? I like that, and I think this is going to be hopping for a while. In fact, we've talked about doing a PvP night, and I'm excited to throw this into that mix. I think this is going to go over very well. Plus, they've redone this map. I think there were some arguments on the previous Astrologos, right? Which is a fairness, and it was too wide. I'm looking at the second screenshot with the map, and things are close together for the most part. But when you have things close together with just a lot of action going on, it's chaos, but chaos can be fun.
Well, and PvP should be a little bit chaotic. I did some PvP in World of Warcraft. I don't even remember what the name of it was, but I remember driving vehicles. It was winter something, maybe. I don't know. Cinna's reminded me what it was, but you know, it was chaos and it was crazy. And yeah, you have PvP stuff, but you also grab tanks and shoot things, and I think for me it's very fun when you have environmental things to use. So it's not just straight up, oh, I saw a healer, let's all target her and kill her, right? It's let's go find the goblin mercenary, and I'm hoping that there's also like you can also be getting points doing other things too. So I don't know, I'd like to do I think so. I've been doing this like every other week map parties. I may just start putting PvP on the opposite Thursday nights or something and just see who shows up, because PvP is not my first love or anything, but there's stuff I want to buy. There's hairstyles and minions and stuff, and some of the stuff I might just be cheating myself out of some enjoyment. I will be the first to admit I might be robbing myself from fun, because these things might be fun. I may have let a couple of times burn me out on, you shouldn't be, I think I accidentally queued into like stuff I shouldn't have been in before. This looks like it's just queue up and go nuts and have fun. So, all right, we also have the next part of Eureka Hydatos. So
I guess it is Hydatos.
I guess it's Hydatos. I don't know. I thought hydrate. I don't know. It's probably Latin. Okay. So this is the conclusion, right? This is the conclusion of the story, the conclusion of the gear enhancements. And they've also now told us the name of that dungeon in the middle, I guess. Is it Baldacian Arsenal? That's the open dungeon, is called an ultra high and public instance dungeon. So up to 56 players can go in there. However, access is locked behind several strict requirements. So apparently you have to do some stuff to go in there. So most important is actually completing the Eureka storyline. So this is what you do after you've already got your weapon and you just want to do something more exciting. So it's difficult.
I like it.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to get in. It won't always be accessible. You'll have to have certain items. I'm wondering if these are these pop items. Maybe they're trying some pop items, I'm kind of hoping. You'll have to have certain items and enter at certain times. So, like, Christ, even 1.23 had pop items. And I'm kind of glad to see them if that's coming back. It also mentions that if you wipe, that's it. You can't.
No reses.
No reses. They said that there's magical suppression of raising. So you go in, you try it, and if you die, you're done. So
yeah,
it's going to be interesting or frustrating, right? Because I get frustrated with the diadem end game thing.
Yeah, and this is my hope for the difference. Emergency missions in the diadem popped on some really off. You didn't know when it was going to happen, and when it did, you dropped everything and you had to fly to the center, and then you had to hope all the other fucks that are in there knew what was going on. This seems like everybody somewhat organized. It says, here's the open window. It's going to open at this time based on the weather thing. We have the pop items. We're going to open this up. Please be ready to do this. And you have, of course, your parties. Your party of 8 is probably going to, know what's up. Or you're going to do shouts that say, like, hey, looking for an arsenal run, know the strats, whatever else. And it's going to be more organized because it's going to be a little slower pace to get into it. It's not an emergency. And then when you get into it, I think it's going to feel like that Dynamis sort of thing, but a Dynamis without raises, where you're going to have to tightly hug some wall and work together to kill an enemy, because if that enemy drags other shit, I think they even mentioned it, if your bard pulls the wrong thing, bye-bye. You fucked up. And that's the way Dynamis was. Somebody couldn't just walk out and pull 4 ads and pull it over. You're done. So, especially without raises, but Dynamis would hit you so hard. I mean, nobody would survive long enough to get a raise. Maybe if you had a re-raise ring. And we don't know. Maybe they'll allow some kind of re-raise thing at some other point later down the road. We don't know how they... I think you're going to have to rely a lot more on your the crystals. What are those things called that you bring in there? The that you farm up.
I can't remember. The
logos.
All the abilities.
Yeah. The abilities there. So we'll see how this will evolve. Again, it's something that they're doing at the tail end where they're not going to be able to get a lot of feedback to change it before we get 5.0. So we will be getting some sort of Eureka type stuff in 5.0, and I hope this is something that they bring to it, some type of Dynamis content. So I would say give your feedback when you do it, but I'm pretty open-minded about this. Now, again, I'm still on Pagos. I'm still way behind. So it'd be a while before I catch up to this, but I think during the Vast Wasteland with Pagos nerfs and Pyros nerfs, when this comes out, it shouldn't be terribly hard to get to Hydatos, and then I got probably in April or May be able to get some groups to start working on this.
Now, they haven't mentioned rewards. I'm assuming It's not going to be a weapon, obviously, because...
Well, I don't know. It's called the fucking arsenal. I would hope there's something.
I know, but it's like you've already gotten your relic, right? Maybe it just dumps more of the currencies on you or something.
Could be.
I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. They also confirmed that Final Fantasy XI's Absolute Virtue will be present.
Oh, yes. Speaking of 11, yes. So this guy is the notorious, 48 to 72 hour. I have to pull it to a wall and hope it doesn't use benediction on itself and all that. I don't think it's going to be to that level.
No.
But again, it's going to be very difficult. And I think the whole, I say alliance, it wouldn't be the alliance itself, but the 56 people that are in this will have to work together to take that thing down. And I hope it drops some sweet glamour at the very least. Something fucking badass drops from it.
So that's 7 parties, right?
Yeah.
56, that's 7 parties. That's interesting. Yeah, because that's one of my arguments against some of the... Now, I love open world shit. I really, really do. But I'm from 11, where really the stuff that would test you was like a BCNM or something where you couldn't take the entire world with you. Mm-hmm. So I think this will be interesting to see. It's tuned for 56 players, and you can't just take 144 there and stomp on it. So you may have to actually... I'm almost scared that it's going to be too hard. I'm going to be like, oh, fuck it. I'm not doing it, but I want to do it.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
All right. And yeah, he repeats over and over again, Yoshida does, that it's going to be very difficult content. You'll need a lot of time and a lot of luck in order to complete it. All right, we have a Final Fantasy 15 collaboration. The one I've dreamed about forever. Oh wait, no, I didn't.
Yes.
But we knew it was coming. So, I can't even talk about it. I don't know anything about it.
All right.
I know Garuda's involved. Some sort of Garuda is involved.
It's the 4-person mount. We're finally getting it.
Okay, that excited me a little bit. 4-person
But they
mount.
made it into the regalia. Mm-hmm. So it's like a double-edged sword for you, Yelta. You don't want to drive this fucking car around, but if you get in losers, I love it. Did you see what they looked like? The Lalafels on his hands, the head on his hands, and or leaned over on the steering wheel and all that other stuff. So it looks really cool, the animations and things. I love the way it flies. It does the Regalia F. It takes off just like it does in 15. And even the little preview for it looked sweet. You had the campfire with Noctis and the Warrior of Light sitting around a la Final Fantasy 15. And yes, the Garuda, and that's the Garuda from 15. So if you'll recall from the 14 into 15 crossover, Noctis and company find a Mikote that takes them on an adventure to kill 14's Garuda, who then unlocks 15's Garuda for Noctis. So Noctis in his world can summon Garuda, and it looks like the Garuda we're going to be fighting in the Howling Eye.
It looks really cool, honestly.
Yeah, it does look cool. And the fight's different. He was killing some kind of totems, and it was a little different in there. It wasn't just kill the sisters and do the thing. And
I really kind of like that they did Garuda, and I don't know if they did this purposely, but Garuda was like the first one. Well, not the first one. So Ifrit was the first one, but in 1.0 or 1.23 or whatever, that's what we did at the end game was farm Garuda.
Mm-hmm. She was the cool one.
Yeah. All of her, we had to get all of her weapons, and I was watching the video, and one of the things I noticed was this must drop weapons because at what timestamp 1.21 of this video, it shows all these different weapons.
Yeah, and that's the big thing with 15 is that Noctis can summon all the weapons. In his world, he has to go and unlock each of these weapons that are kind of... I'm not going to go into the lore of it, but he's got all these weapons. And it would only make sense that there would be one weapon of each type for 14. The armory system, of course. So we're going to probably... I would put $100 bill on this, that we're going to get a cool weapon of every type.
That'd be cool.
From this. So, nice.
It's all right. I think the car's atrocious, but that's okay. I can handle one.
Yeah, well, it's kind of got a Knight Rider like Michael.
That,
to me, though, just as a recap of this, this was not worth staying up for.
No.
Because they did lead into this to the art design lady again, who talked about some stuff, and not to shit on her or anything else after, but I had been up 2 nights straight doing other stuff. When we got to this, and they're like, okay, we're going to turn it over to this lady who's going to talk about design and all this stuff, I couldn't do it.
No.
And I was fully expecting, I don't know why, some more information. And when it was just this, because this doesn't say anything about the rest of the lore or anything we're going to get.
Well, they talked a lot about how you can't have capes, and the only reason they could give a cape to some NPC was bones, and they tied it to the bones of the skirt of his gear, and I don't know, which is all of now. I'm not trying to shit on it, but it was probably a very I sat and half listened to the whole thing, but I'm like, man, this is probably a really interesting panel, but not what I want to see during a live letter. I want a live letter for info on incoming content. Now, but the other thing was, it didn't really show. They didn't even spice it up. I don't remember even seeing any, like, here's some slides, here's some concept art, and
it was fucked at the beginning too. Don't forget that
whole letter
they didn't even get the video playing right. They had technical difficulties.
They started late.
In this.
I'm assuming technical difficulties. They could not run the video
for Hidden Gorge, so they jumped right into Hydatos, and then they had to go back. As soon as they went into that, Hidden Gorge video came up, and they were like, well, okay, well, then we're going to go backwards. So maybe that threw off the vibe a little bit.
Well, shit happens, but I was even able to get kind of past that. It was when they were like, all right, now we're going to talk about 2D gear design, and they did talk a little bit about, why they don't pick what's dyeable at that point or whatever, but it was interesting, but I don't think it was. And maybe they do. Maybe I'm misremembering live letters, and they always do some stuff I don't care about. But I would have been. Where was our spring Eorzea collection?
Oh my
right?
God!
Right?
Again,
and that would have worked really well. I would have loved to seen her pull up. Here's our 2D concept art. Here's our 2D sketches or whatever that they actually send to the 3D modelers. I would have loved to see, and here's what it looks like in game. I would have really enjoyed that. But maybe that was an earlier panel or something, but I was kind of bored and not, and then they went into buy all of our shit mode after that. So I don't know why. I don't know why I stayed up all night, but I did. All right. But I didn't feel like the live letter told me a whole lot. It gives us some dates and stuff, but it's like,
yeah,
wasn't the best one ever. All right, Q&A session. Nova Crystallis, Twitter. We're going to run down really quickly. I haven't read most of these, so
yeah, there's some that popped off. So this was from the Q&A from the audience. There might have been 2 Q&As. I think there was one where they actually had some stuff that were pre-done, and then this, I think, is the one from the audience. Again, folks, we're not covering everything from the whole EU Fan Fest. Feel free to go and watch all those videos on their Twitch stream. But we want to cover just a few of the things that really jumped out. I'm going to skim, Yelton. If you see any that I don't name here, feel free to comment on those. Why doesn't Mahjong give MGP? It's the gambling shit. They can't give MGP because just as the same way they can't do poker. It says early on we had plans for table games like poker, but certain regions have laws against games like that, and they're classified as gambling. So I think that was something that we had heard about
we
before.
talked about that before, but it's like, eh.
Yeah, and then they also kind of led into that about the ratings. Like when Yatsuyu steps on Gosetsu, you can't see him because it would make the rating change. And if the ratings are too strict, but what rating would that be? Would that be violence or sexual rating? I don't know. Maybe a little of both. But when the rating is too high, they can't do certain things. Like they had a scene where an arrow pierced a resistance member and they had to scrap it because then the the rating would get too high. Same with Raban's arm and Teleji Adeleji, but we don't care about that. That fuck. We're glad he's gone. Can we get the DualShock controller to rumble when your duty pops? I'll tell the UI team.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
That's actually a good one. Expansion to the friend list. They said they tried expanding it and it caused a critical error. So the next step is to reevaluate the structure of data that was constructed during the development 2.0, but they may not get that done by 5.0, but maybe soon after. So maybe we'll finally get that extension to the friend
and they
list.
talked. They talked about saving it locally instead of server side. Well, I can't see. So one of the reasons to not save something locally is like hacks. But what are you going to hack? What is the downside to having the friend list local versus? I don't know. Maybe there's some problems. It is not big enough. Or else, I don't know. I have to dump people off my friend list to get new people.
Yeah. Azislaw theme for Equestrian. They're talked to Soken about it. I'd love to have that. I love that song.
Oh, I want to talk about this one. Are you planning? They've talked about this before about adding some hit points to the hunt mobs in the Realm Reborn zones. Mm-hmm. And they, honestly, that makes it not fair for people who are in a Realm Reborn. Honestly, they need to do something to make it so us level 60 and level 70 people don't want to hunt the Realm Reborn zones. I think that's the fucking answer. Make it so people from, 1 to 50 want to do it, but once you're on to 60, then you don't want to kill them.
I think it's an incentive type thing. I think you have to change the tomes or the I don't know. Maybe it's already set up the right way and I don't do enough hunts to see it, but I think it has to be incentivized in a certain way to make up for that. Mm-hmm. But yeah. We'll see. Byaku's falling mechanic is a gate. They already have the next gate planned, but maybe after that. Will we get Nanamo as a trust? She's the Sultana. Wouldn't you rather fight with Raban? Mm-hmm. But I do recall a battle with Tataru. But will she run away too, or will her carbon?
I know, right? She did not do well in the fightings.
Well, yeah, I think she's better handling the money.
All of the money.
Will there be new ultimate tier difficulty raids in Shadowbringers? Of course. They are already planning the next ultimate. This is funny, but I heard somebody talking about, I think it was Tate on Twitch. He was talking about, wouldn't it be cool if they made a Good King Moggle ultimate? That would be funny.
That would be funny. In fact, maybe not even an ultimate. Maybe give us, because we have a harder mode, but I think it would be hilarious to give us another harder mode, even if it's not ultimate, right? Wouldn't that be fun? That would be lighthearted and fun, just to, here you go. The Moogles in the Heavensward area are now summoning a new king or something. I don't know. It would be fun.
Yeah, people are already clamoring for Thornton, though. So.
Oh, Thornton would make sense. That would be good.
Yeah. Minions is a housing thing. There's some difficulty with the clipping or something, or setting it up. Let's see, what does it say here? To place them like a furnishing.
Well, they promised us,
have to walk around independently.
But they promised us forever and ever and ever ago that they were looking into a system where we could have minions that would we could pick minions and they would freely roam our house and our yard. And that's like primal summoning for free companies. It never happened.
Yep. Make those cakes with your Lalafell friends in the basement of your house. Will Deep Dungeon continue in Shadowbringers? Maybe. It's kind of turned into a series. We haven't decided what post-series patch it'll be in. When I go back to Tokyo, he has to make a 2-year plan for 14 anyway.
I hope they include it. I know it's fun when you want to do it. I don't know. I wouldn't want to see them cut it. I haven't done Deep Dungeon. I usually do it early when it comes out, and then I kind of ignore it, and then we get bored and decide to try to do the climb to whatever floor. But
when I was in the new 24-man raid, there's an area that's really gray, and when you walk past, there's a bench. And I thought, you know what? I never did sit on that damn bench.
Yep.
I need to go sit on the bench.
And there's items that come out of that, and I don't have those items.
Mm-hmm. What mount will we get with the Pixies Beast Tribe quest? Yoshida says Will there even be Beast Tribe quests with the Pixies? Probably. Pixie wings,
Oh my
maybe?
god, that would be so cute.
Have them carry you around? We'll think of something good. That would be tight to be able to fly around
Well,
with
you
Pixie
have
wings.
those wings that are when you get married or they're like a fireworks and they like put wings on your back. That'd be kind of neat.
Can we get Yatsuyu's outfit and hair? It's difficult, but they've already talked to Name-san. She said, I've designed it for movement.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna break out here again and be like, where is our fucking Far Eastern garb? Really? There's what do we have? 2 pieces, like a gathering set, and then like one coat you can get. We don't. Why can't I wear kasode like or a kimono like Totaro has one? Why can't I wear one? It pisses me off. I'm like, they should have been throwing that shit at us from day one. Anyway.
This is Yoshida, we are in the testing phase of you being able to exit from the house onto the balcony. But you won't be going into the public area. That's impossible system-wise. We might be able to fake it, but it might take some time, and we're working on it. That little door at the top of the house?
They should just...
You're saying that we could do something with that?
Just fucking erase the door and call it a day. I don't care. Yeah. I don't care. You know what? Take the time and energy you're spending on trying to make you exit out onto the goddamn balcony and put it...
Put some content in this fucking game.
No, put that effort into giving us little gardens or greenhouses or something in our free company rooms, our instance housing, our what are they called, the apartments. Right? Take some fucking time and go give us a little instanced garden. I don't care that I can't see. I have an apartment. I just want a small bed. Now, mind you, I have a house. I have a free company. We have a free company house. I have a personal house. My husband has a personal house. I have plenty of gardening areas, but not everyone does. And it's like, Christ almighty, stop trying to do shit that no one cares about and do some stuff that would be useful to the community. Anyway.
You tell him, Yelta. Last one I'm going to cover here. Localization question for Koji. What's the reasoning behind starboard and larboard mechanics? Koji begins to sweat. There's a good reason. The original Japanese use kanji for starboard and port. In English, you don't use them often outside of nautical terms. The older word for port is larboard and L is left, so they get it, right? No. That morning I saw questions on the forum asking, what's larboard? He got a message to come see Yoshida in his office and the battle team was already sitting in there. Koji was like, shit. But the conversation led them to talking with the battle team about localizations that convey information more quickly for such mechanics.
See, and I think starboard and larboard, I had no trouble with it, but I knew it. I already knew that starboard was this and larboard was that. I knew the history. I played pirate games. But the problem is that ability happens so quickly, it doesn't let you learn it, right? There's still a left or a right mechanic in the most current 24-man, but it's slightly, it's slower for the AoE to come out, so you could, I think the biggest problem with starboard and larboard is it's so fast that you have to read it and process it and move on, and it's,
I think you're right about the speed. Even though the one in the 24-man raid says right-hand gun and left-hand gun, you can still get that confused because, yes, it's the enemy's right hand, but if you're the I guess tanks have to think backwards anyway because they're facing the enemy. But it does allow a little – and then it's not as wide of a circle, I don't think. I think it's got a little notch. It's like maybe, 120 degrees instead of 180 or whatever it would be. So starboard and larboard is a little less forgiving. And then I can see people just going, what the fuck is a larbird? And then it doubles up sometimes. It's not like, right handgun and then left handgun, or left handgun and then right handgun.
But then he flips
it could be
around.
Larbird.
He flips
Starboard.
around.
Oh, he flips. He jumps.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just harder anyway. I've heard it's easier in Savage than it is.
I've heard that too. I haven't touched Savage this cycle. I should.
God, no. I feel bad about myself.
I
should at least do Chaos. Somebody teach me Chaos.
Guys, I never finished the last one. You all finished it. I didn't.
Well, let's go finish it.
I should. All right. We have Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers release date. The release date is July 2nd, 2019. Pre-orders begin Wednesday, February 6th. And early access begins Friday, June 28th. I heard lots and lots of praise that release date's Tuesday, July 2nd, and at least in the United States, we have a 4th of July. What is it this year? Let me go back to June.
I was going to go look.
Yeah, July.
USA.
So the 2nd is a Tuesday for us. The 4th of July is a Thursday. So, maybe, of course, a lot of us are also all going and visiting our families, but so so June 28th, that's a Friday. I may have to take that off. I've historically taken time off for these things, so I don't know. I might do it again. But
I like it.
Yeah, go pre-order and get your stuff though. That's by the time you're listening to this, it's already up and for sale. So, and there's a teaser site that has all these Shadowbringers things on it. So, all right, let's see what is next. Patch 4.5, a Requiem for Heroes special site was updated.
Yep, Rival Wings we've already talked about, and the Hydatos was already talked about. So we've covered that stuff, but it does have the screenshots there for you if you want to take a look at it, and a little bit of information there. Not much. I guess that's winding down, right? Because I guess everything is now out there for 4.5.
Yeah. Now, then the next one is, again, a Nocturne for Heroes. It's the Final Fantasy XIV, Final Fantasy 15 crossover event coming mid-April. We don't have a actual timeline on that yet, but it's coming. All right, the pre-order announcement is out. We've already talked about it. Pre-order. Well, this one says February 8th at 3 a.m. I thought it was the 6th, guys. Oh, no, this is the announcement going over the pre-order information. This is the one that's going to... Sorry, I got confused. All right, so this is the next live broadcast revealing the details on the various editions and pre-order bonuses. So I probably won't tune into this because I probably would have already bought my collector's edition and cried myself to sleep because my wallet's empty. But
so I guess if you're on the fence, you can watch this pre-order announcement.
All right, there is new merchandise for pre-order. We have the honestly, truly beautiful Ultima, the High Seraph figurine. It is amazing, but I'm not going to spend $230 on it. I'm sorry. It's gorgeous, though. All right, there's also the Cacpot, Gold Saucer Cacpot Party board game.
I want this, though. This is cute.
See, I might get this. In fact, I sent my sister a little message, and I haven't heard back from her yet. But I'm like, if I buy this and you play it with me, will you come and review it with us? All right, and then there's the Final Fantasy XIV Chronicles of Light. This is a short novel that collects the previously released Tales from the Calamity, Tales from the Dragonsong War, and the Tales from the Storm. In addition, they'll be introducing 4 additional tales focusing on Xenos, Tataru, Hien, and Gosetsu, written by the development team for a total of 25 tales. Furthermore, these new tales are accompanied by illustrations. Awesome. I might have to snag that.
That looks cool.
Yeah. And then we
No
have...
bonus, though. I was wondering if there was going to be any kind of... I'm looking, but I don't see any kind of minion or anything that comes out of this. Okay.
Okay. Oh, Christ. Okay, so I just clicked on the Ultima High Seraph. It's not available anymore. It is gone.
Damn.
It is beautiful. I actually really considered getting it, and not just because of the figurine, but... All right. The piano collection, that we already knew about that. It is releasing on March 6th. I think the pre-orders have been available for that for a while now. So check it out. All right, the Feast Season 12 is ending soon. So that ends, it's yesterday.
It's over.
It's over. So they're going to announce the final results on Tuesday, February 12th. So let's go see if A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, whatever is still there. Man, does the website still say 6 days remaining?
It still does. It says 6 days remaining on here.
That's broken, right?
What's wrong with you?
Because, it's over.
Well, it says all matches must be concluded before the scheduled maintenance for patch 4.55. Huh.
Maybe I'm just dumb. I don't know.
Will end after February 5th, and the final results will be announced. Updates to the ranking page. So maybe they just won't update the rankings anymore.
They haven't updated everything. I don't see our friend ABCD.
Oh, Lord. But that's Aether. Hold on. Let me switch to Primal.
I see a lot of the same names in here, though.
I do see a lot. Girl, you got a week to come up. Cool. Maybe they took
time off. I don't know.
Maybe so. I see the name down. It's a little further down, but I'm not calling anybody out here. Yeah. So get on it, Yelta. We've got a week to get on this.
Let's go PvP.
Top 10 at least.
Oh my God. All right. What's on tap? We do have a developer's blog, Sealed with a Dote. This is basically just talking about the Valentine's Day. It started, it's going on now. I don't know when it ends. We've talked a bit already about these rewards. The art is gorgeous. I didn't buy the lobster yet, but I did get the cake pairing because it has wine.
I went for the lobster.
No, I needed the wine. I don't know if I like lobster. I think I've had it a couple times. I need to go and get the stuffed mammoth, though. I need that because it's adorable. And then I have to go, since you spoiled it for me, I'll go I'll go get my Tom Berry knives. So,
well, and here's the thing. The Dark Knight's arm you can see, but you can't even try on the secondary tool because you don't see a secondary tool unless you're actually in a craft. You
have to be actually crafting and using abilities that make you hold it up.
What the fuck, Yoshida? Why?
I don't understand. Now, okay, so you did this, right?
Yeah.
Right? I fully expected there to be some sort of storyline reason with the seasonal event that made these things make sense, and it doesn't, does it?
No. It's a guy in a pot.
Random as fuck. Here you go. All right. Let's move. I got the giggles all of a sudden.
Well, this next thing will make you giggle for sure.
Well, I hope so. I hope this will make us all giggle at some point. Let's take some shots. We promised it. It's coming. It's happening. I said I would design a contest, and I made Ruby design. No.
I can draw you one. You're not going to like it.
We're going to have a Gather Together male Viera drawing contest. Draw, sketch, paint, whatever, what you think a male Viera might look like in Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. When you have your piece of art composed, tweet your entry to @GTFFXIV. We will give away 3 wind-up cloud minions to the top 3 of our favorite picks. You have from now till March 1st to enter, and yeah, good luck.
Mm-hmm. So we don't care how you get it to us. If you want to draw it and take a picture with your phone and send it to us, if you want to digitally draw one and send it to us, whatever, just tweet it to us. And we're looking for, peak male Vieira performance here. I want to see your best guess. Now, your best guess might be a little baby bunny boy. It might be Big Chungus. It might be a ripped Vieira, big hairy-chested bunny man. Whatever you in your mind see, we want to know. And we're going to vote for our favorite. So if you can make Yelta or I laugh, that's a good thing. If you can impress us, that's a good thing. If you make us horny, that's a good. We'll allow it, and we will give you a cloud minion if you make us one of those three or something different. Maybe if I'm just confused, I may give you a cloud minion.
Don't think, I don't have any artistic talent, because we know our listeners, we know the Final Fantasy IV fan base, we know there are some amazing, amazing artists out there. But if you can barely use paint, but you have a funny idea or a cool or neat or whatever idea, put that down and send it in. And, we're not just going to grade on amazing artistic ability. We certainly appreciate that also. But, Ruby once entered a paint shop or paint white mage outfit, didn't you?
Yeah, they fucking disqualified me, though.
Yeah,
that's why I'm giving back to this community, because we will not disqualify you.
We're not going to disqualify you. Yeah. Yeah, so enter a picture. You can, add some text if you want. You can, do whatever you feel. But somehow express to us your vision of what a male Vieira might look like. So, and then enjoy your wind-up cloud minion. All right, we have Ruby, take the wheel.
Oh, yes, I will. So we did a little happy hour thing here. We sent a tweet out saying, did the Final Fantasy XIV FanFest 2019 keynote from Paris answer all your burning questions or leave you wanting more? What jumped out at you? Tell us. We'll read your thoughts and questions on our next episode. So our first one, this is what jumped out at Moogle Go Round Chili, was the Donger Tower from Fairyland. He says, I liked this part. Thanks, Chili. Thanks for making me laugh during the live letter. Deli says, I don't know. The tempo of this keynote was weird. North American keynote were series of crazy big explosions. Boom, 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 huh? Boom. EU was bang, huh? Bang, huh? Boom, huh? Huh? Shut up and take my gill, huh? I kind of feel that. Those little pacing was off, maybe, for the EU. Grim Helm says, not sure how I feel about the Red Mage AF again. Smiley face. They seem to give the guys the jackets I actually want. That aside, I want to really get my hands on the new tank class and see how that works with its elemental rounds. So yeah, we didn't mention that, but they did show Red Mage AF. They showed Black Mage AF. So those are two cool things we saw during the EU Fan Fest. Mars Angel says, I missed it live due to work, but I was able to get the info and vids on YouTube and Twitter, no problem. I have to say, I need 5.0 tomorrow, and it looks like I might end up tank main in 5.0. Does them only showing female Vieira mean no male? Would it be the first time in 14 we get gender lock? Since 1.0, yes. 1.0, though, did have some gender lock. Like Satura says, it would be strange for them to make a gender-locked female race without also making a gender-locked male race. So I'm looking forward to either seeing some male Vieira or a second, in caps, new race for 5.0. Also, there are no words for how hype I am for Nier. Yeah, I've heard that Team Rondo going, or Ronzo going around.
Well, didn't even Yoshi P tease one time about, well, maybe they'd do a separate race for the other sex or whatever, but I still don't think they would do it. That's the same problem.
I don't either. That'd be the salty assault after what we've seen here. Like A also says, the thing I'm most excited about is the new areas. They look beautiful, and the music during Greatwood preview was breathtaking. I agree. Nayabari, a good fan of the show, says SE must feel that the game is going well enough to keep this many secrets back. The keynote ended 15 minutes early, more than the high-end raid announcement more than the high underrated announcement was delayed on purpose. Yeah, okay. I think what you're saying is that they're delaying some information here, and I agree. That's again goes back to, is Yoshida playing 4D chess? And then finally, Zamfire says, Keynote was probably the worst one we ever had. Everything was already known, predicted if you watched last year's. Only new cool thing was Nier, but hopefully Nier stuff does not get old. There was a lot of people with that same sentiment. It was just confirmation, nothing new.
Yep.
So thank you, everybody, for your comments on that. We did get a couple of other tweets from fans. Trash Panda says, loving the podcast. Keep up the good work. Thank you. And Super Nerd Dalton, who was sharing us amongst some other podcasters that they listen to, says, can't wait to listen. And that's for the newest episode. And I will say, most recently, for us, we've gotten a lot of new followers. We're up to 460 followers on Twitter, so thank you. The new contest isn't a follow us on Twitter contest, but we would love to have you follow us on the Twitter at GTFFXIV, and just give us your feedback. We always love to hear from you.
All right, then we have one more thing. We have a last call. I promised I would shout it out, and I keep forgetting, but there is a Distant Worlds Minneapolis pre-show meetup. This is coming up on March 1st. It's hosted by Phoenix Down Radio. My friend Klaus sent me a message earlier this year, last year, saying, hey, you coming to Distant Worlds? And I'm like hemming and hawing. And then I'm like, yeah. So Ulf and I are going, and we are both RSVP'd to go to this pre-show meetup. It's going to be from on Friday, March 1st at 6 to 7:30. We're going to all meet up at the Rock Bottom Restaurant and Brewery on Hennepin in Minneapolis and have us a meal before we head over to the Distant Worlds concert. So, yay.
Sweet.
Yeah. So if you're in the area and want to go and want to meet me or want to meet Klaus and hang out, that'd be fun as hell.
I like it. I'd like to go.
Yeah, you're far away though.
A little far.
All right, then it's closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. You can find links to all of our episodes and blog posts on our website, www.gtffxiv.com. While you're there, please leave us a comment. And if you'd like to, you can support us by clicking the donation button. You can find us on Twitter at GTFFXIV. You can email us at gtffxiv@gmail.com. Please rate us. Personal plugs, Ruby.
Yes, you can find me on Twitter at Rubicon Vale, RUBICONVALE.
And you can find me on Twitter as well at Yelta Sumasu, YELTASUMASU. As always, thank you for listening, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.